Hello Sumate, you're welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll be learning how to make the hip and butt padding tight. Now I have a video of how to make your hip and butt pad, how to attach it to a dress in my channel. If you've not seen it, I'll be linking it in the description box for you to see. It's very simple and easy to understand. This is my body without the hip and butt tight. This is my body without it, and I'm going to show us my body putting it on, but the skirt is quite tight on me. This is my body with the hip tight underneath. The skirt is quite tight on it, so it really didn't bring the shape out very well. So I'm going to show us wearing it under the normal leggings, the normal tights we use. So this is it under the normal leggings, and you can see how smooth it is on my body. Okay, now you can see all of those curves, right? So if these two are what you want to know how to make, you can stick around. Let's get started, as I'll be taking us through the process of cutting and stitching it all together. So to get started now, I have my fabric. Here is a crepe, but this crepe is stretchy on both sides, okay, but one side is stretchier than the other. So the fabric placement will matter when I'm cutting. I need my hairstay, right? I need my hairstay. Then I need the foam. I need this foam. You can get this foam from the people that sell mattress. That's where I got it. It's about 3/4 of an inch, but if you see anyone that is 1 inch, it will be better if you want yours bigger than my own. Okay, so the next thing, now you need your short pant pattern. If you've not seen a video of how I made this short pant pattern, it is the last video on my channel, how I made a short pant with size zip. It is the same pattern I used there that I'm using here. So if you've not seen it, I will also link it in the description box for you to go and see it. So the first thing you will do to get started, from the waistline, come down by 1.5 of an inch from the side of the waistline. Then on the hip line, come in by 4.5. Don't forget that we're working on the front pattern first, okay? Come in by 4.5 and mark. So what you do now, after coming in by 4.5, now you know that from the waistline to the hip line measurement is 8 inches. And if you want to get your under bust measurement, whatsoever you got from your waistline to your hip line, you minus 1 inch from it to get your under bust measurement. So if I go down now, from the waistline, I will go down by 7 inches. I will also minus another 1 inch from the 7 inches, which will make it 6 inches for the under butt I'm using for this tight. So what I do now, you see the 3 points I've marked now, I will go ahead and connect them together. I will connect from the upper part to the hip line. Can you see it? Then from the hip line, I will connect to the under butt, which is the 6 inches from the waistline. Okay, and I hope you're not confused. You know, to get your hip line measurement, you measure from your waist 8 inches down. To get your under butt, normally you will measure from the hip line 7 inches down, but this one you have to minus 1 inch from whatsoever you get to get the under butt for this tight. I hope you understand. Then on the back pattern, we'll be doing the same thing, but on the hip line you will come in by 1.5 of an inch and mark. Then on the waistline, also come down by 1.5 of an inch. Then get the under butt line, which is 6 inches from the waistline, right, and mark it. Then after that, connect the 3 lines that you've just marked together like we did for the front pattern. Okay, so take note, on the hip line for the back pattern, we came in by 1.5 of an inch because the whatsoever the foam we'll be using to pad now is meant to be bigger for the back than the front. Okay, so can you see what we have? So after doing it like this, now I'll go ahead and get a fresh paper and trace it all out. So this pattern now, this curve that we've made now, is the part that we will curve, that we will cut on the foam. Okay, this is the part we'll cut on the foam, and this is what we'll be padding the tight with. So I'll go ahead and trace it on a fresh paper, then I will cut it out. I know you cannot see the traces I've made, but I can see them, so I'll go ahead and cut the traces I've made out. Then I'm going to label it appropriately. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. So the up and the down. Then the other part, I'm still going to trace it all out also. Then I will also cut it out, and I will go ahead and also label it. Do you get? So now you have to label it. Make sure that you mark the up part, then you mark the down part, so that you don't mistake the upper part for the down part. If not, your work will come out wrong. Okay, so take note of that. You have to label it like you see me do. So we've gotten the pad. This is the main padding that we need. Okay, so this is the front and this is the back. You can see me labeling them properly, so I do not mistake them. So now that we've gotten the pad part, we have to get a pouch. Now a pouch where this pad, you know, this pad that we've made, I told you that's the foam. So we have to get a pouch where the pad will rest on. So the 4.5 you measure for the front pattern on the hip line, extend it to the waistline, then you mark a straight line. Okay, you know where starting from the beginning. We measured 4.5 on the hip line, extend it to the waistline, roll a straight line. On the back, you know we measure 1.5 on the center back, extend it to the waistline, then you roll a straight line. So this part that we're marking and rolling now is going to serve as the pouch for the padding itself. Okay, because you need a pouch like where the foam will be resting on inside the tight. Okay, that's what we're creating here. So after doing that, the same way we trace out the pad part, we're going to trace out the pouch, front and back. So I'm going to get a fresh paper, then trace everything out. Now the reason I'm tracing all of this out is because I need this main pattern to cut the shorts. Don't forget that we've not cut the shorts, so don't go ahead and start cutting all this part out. Do you get? So it's better you just trace it. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. You go ahead and trace it on a fresh paper. So after tracing it, I will also go ahead and cut the same way we did for the padding itself. The same thing we are doing for the pouch. So like I said earlier, also you cannot see the traces, but I can see them. I'll just go ahead and cut them out accordingly. So this is the back pouch. I labeled it up and down. Then now I'm tracing the front pouch. I will also go ahead and label it as the front pouch. Then I will also label the upper part and the lower part. Don't forget to label your own so that you don't get confused. Okay, because once you misplace it or you use the lower part for the upper part, your work is not going to come out accurately. So you can see me labeling it. This is the front pouch. So the front pouch and the back pouch is ready. The padding part also for the front and the back is ready. So those four now, I will keep them outside. Okay, so now we're going to cut on our fabric. So this is the pant itself, pant pattern on the fabric, and don't forget that I am placing it this way on the most stretchy part of the fabric. Okay, so I added extra 2 inches to the waistline because at the end of the day I'm going to fold it in to pass my band through it. So the 2 inches now, it is going to affect both the front and back, and you can see me connecting the 2 inches for the back. You know the back pattern is slanted. If you've not seen a video of how I made this pattern, go and watch it. It's very easy. It is same pattern I use in that video I am using here. I didn't draft another one. So when you are done like this, you go ahead and cut. Okay, so you just go ahead and cut. But what I'll be doing now, I will add like 1 inch to the lower part that I will use to fold. So I'm just checking the full length of the short is 19 inches from the waistline. That's excluding the extra 2 inches I added to it. Okay, so I added about 1 inch to the lower part and went ahead to cut it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut both the front and back. So after cutting the front and back now, the next thing we'll be doing now is to go ahead and cut both the pouch. Now the pouch will be cutting it on the fabric. Okay, so this is the pouch, the front and back pouch. I've gone ahead to cut on the fabric. Then the padding itself is what we'll be cutting on the foam, and I've already done that to save our time. Okay, so now you can see I have two for the front, 2 for the back, because we have both sides, right? So now this is me placing the paper on it, the pattern on it, so that we don't get confused. Okay, you can see that I also label on the foam front and back. So what you're going to do now, you are going to place it front and back together. Okay, so you go ahead and trim. At this point, I have trimmed the first part. Okay, I've trimmed it all round. Can you see what we have? So I'm going to trim the other part for us to see how I did it. You can see my label. Don't make mistake, label it front and back. Once you cut with your paper on the foam, before you separate the paper, label it, okay, so you don't make mistake. So I'll go ahead and trim it all round. Can you see what I'm doing? I would go ahead and trim it completely all round. But what you should do, make sure that yours is, trim it very flat at the edge, so that it does not, so that it blends well, it blends down to your skin. Okay, trim it very well, trim it very low. Okay, the only part we are not going to trim is the side, which is the center. Okay, you're not going to trim that part because that's the part you join together. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. After trimming it all through, you can see that I've trimmed it all round, but at this point it's not flat enough. So please make sure yours is flat enough and it blends. Okay, so I'm going to trim the other side the same way, but I'll do that off camera. So at this point, I'm done trimming all the parts of the pad. Okay, so this is what we have. You can see that my label is still intact. So when you arrange them together, this is what you have. At this point, the video is already getting too long, so I will continue the sewing part, the most important part of this video, in the part 2. So stick around for the part 2, because that's the next video I will upload after this one. Bye.